People eat.
Anyway, that's.
I mean, there it's not shocking, but for us, I mean, that's.
You look cute there.
And I mean, this is a video. It's not, obviously.
Going live
right.
again.
It's fiction.
Yes.
Going live again. Yeah. Where?
But I mean, it is fiction. That's what I never understood when people make a big deal out of what rock and metal bands do.
Parker.
But you can have a movie on Lifetime that portrays serial killers. Why is that okay, but a band can't portray a fictional story?
What was crazy to me is
you have these feelings like me.
I had several women say this about the video.
You are like me. Crazy. Oh wait, we're live. Oh.
Ravens off the chain.
Shit.
There were. You don't need to
Shut up. No, you didn't hear that. Nobody heard that. Shut the fuck up. Eric,
anyway,
take over.
There were.
I gotta pee.
I'm trying to.
Whoa.
There were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, this, portrays violence towards women." I'm like, "Did you see the rest of the video? Did you not see the end? There's a lot of violence towards men in that very last scene."
There's things in every movie, TV. That's what I'm saying. It's people can't accept it when it's musicians. It must be real because a musician's doing it.
It's not comfortable anymore in any way.
You can't. And there's such a
It's great that it's
more
banned.
on
I mean,
musicians.
it's good that it's banned. It did what it was supposed to do.
It reached the goal we were
Right.
working towards,
And
and that was to get banned from everything. So
Right.
more people would seek out this video in order to watch it. Why is this video getting banned? There's some crazy shit on the internet that you can see, and it's no big deal.
Right, right.
why
Even
is
just
this
on your
video
daytime
getting banned?
daytime
There's way
cable
worse stuff on the
TV.
internet.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's worse stuff on fucking TV.
I'd rather have,
why is this
if I had kids, I'd rather have them watch that video than Jerry Springer. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's all relative. I guess people got to make something out of nothing, but it's
They
good
always do.
because I mean that's what I always set out to do when I first started doing any music or radio was to shock people, and it works. It gains an audience. So,
Sure.
and having it banned is actually, I think it's a good thing. I would thrive on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing anything other than what I do.
So, and then it's only going to make that next video that much more appealing.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll keep the tone of the band going. I mean, you guys been around a long time, so
Definitely.
you guys got a lot of videos. I think I was in 2 of them so far. I wanted to come do this one, but I was working some shitty job. I wound up quitting, but I wish I could have been in it. But, all right, he's coming back. He's chewing on something, and now he's got a bottle and a can of Coke. He looks like he's happy.
Looks like this is a bad idea.
So, when you guys played the Verona that just opened, how was the sound there?
Did that just happen live?
It was good.
The sound was amazing.
Did me
They sounded
walking
amazing.
in just sound like a Freddy Krueger scene? Oh, wow. Wow. Maybe I made that up as I was walking in.
You did in your head.
No, you guys are lying. It happened.
No, it didn't.
Don't lie. You know it
I
happened.
would never lie.
That's
It
fine.
really happened like that?
You got to love this. It makes it interesting. So,
always tell me.
let me talk to the new bass player,
Hey, newbie, Casanova.
the ladies' man, lady killer.
Over here. You got lean.
So, what's your background as far as bands go, music? Tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself, because mostly his fans are probably tuned in, so they'll get to learn a little bit about you.
All right. Well, I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. I grew up in the Knoxville metal scene with bands like Whitechapel, 10 Years, Shinedown, Copper, Straight Line Stitch. I grew up around all of those bands, played in and out of bands with some of those members, in the Knoxville community of metal before they were even, fathomed bands. Nobody knew who they were, and they weren't even a name yet. And I grew up playing very progressive metal and stuff like that. So joining SKC is like complete opposite of what I'm used to playing. I play anything from like technical death metal and gent to go into playing something like this is like a complete different turn of like stuff musically, like where
Do
I'm
you
looking to
find
write.
it, not to be negative, but do you find it boring to play it, or do you find it refreshing?
It's not boring. Like a true musician is not going to look at it like that. Like, you know, it's a band that, yes, the material is easy for me to play, but that allows me to do a lot more on stage, theatrically and things like that.
That's a
like
good point.
it also allows me to interact with the crowd and everything even more. And like, so I look forward to our next show because I'll be able to actually, you know, interact a whole lot more and things like
Right.
that. Whereas if I'm playing technical death metal, you know,
You concentrate
I can
on
really
your
about
part.
the most I can really do is, unless there's like pauses and things like that, like within songs, is headbang. You know, and whereas for this, like it's super simple.
You can put on
and-
a show.
Yeah, I can actually put on a show.
So the way you are presenting yourself in Sister Kill Cycle, was that a look that you had before? Is this something you're adapting to?
My aesthetic, my look has changed over the many years. I was actually showing them a picture earlier. I was like, "This is me in 2011 versus me now," and they're like, "Whoa!" You know? So I think it's something that I've kind of just, you know, adapted to. Like I was always like sort of in like the goth community growing up and stuff like that, but I always leaned more towards metal. As you see, I'm wearing a cattle decapitation shirt, but I'm mixing that with a goth aesthetic, you know. So like, you know, I grew up with those two influences, and so now like I started developing my own look and my own style over the years that way. As far as music is concerned, though, I was in like concert band and stuff like that from the time I was in elementary school all the way through high school, and I continued to play music after high school and college and everything like that. And now I'm looking at going to Berkeley starting in January,
Nice.
and actually turning it into a full-time career, you know, as a professional musician versus, you know, a self-trained but also classically trained through other instruments in school. So I have a lot of theory and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you? How long have you been in Tampa? Are you new to the area, or?
I've lived in Tampa for about 3 months now, and but I went to Full Sail University as well, so I was out in Orlando for about 6 years on and off. I've worked, you know, like festivals and stuff like that, and did show production for many years, and you know, like booking and stuff like that. As far as, you know, music and entertainment is concerned, but yeah, musically, you know, as far as guitar is concerned, I trained myself, and I played with many other guitarists that were amazing. You know, that's the reason my skill level is at, you know, the level it's actually at, you know, is because I played with so many great musicians that were so much above my level that it made me better by playing with them,
Absolutely.
you know, naturally. Yeah.
When you went to Full Sail, did you strictly study music, or was
Well,
it more
when
of a
I went to
production
Full Sail,
thing?
I studied music business.
Did you find it to be a good education? Because a lot of people come from Full Sail and find that they can't really find the job they want. It may have been like an overpriced school.
Yeah, I will say that Full Sail is not cheap. Full Sail, I did get a lot of good things from it. They don't offer a whole lot of opportunities outside of the school after, you know, after you graduate and things like that. Their dropout rate's pretty high. I mean, it's not as bad as Berkeley, but, you know, their dropout rate's pretty high, and they're only accredited in so many states.
Right.
So
You
know,
can't transfer.
basically the way they sell the school is you know, they want to give you the tools to be able to network and actually get out there and find your own gigs and find all of the stuff that you want to do. Like, so to graduate, or not graduate, but to pass a class, you have to have a certain amount of hours of internship, and that has to be like a signed document, you know, that the school gives you, and you bring it back, and then you can pass your class.
Do you feel it was worth it for your music career to?
You know, as far as as far as socializing, it did put me out there to be able to network with others and things like that. No shyness whatsoever. I used to be like kind of a prude and like really reserved and stuff, and then like going to Full Sail, it allowed me to work in the entertainment field and actually in music field and like actually get out there and like get the tools that I needed socially to really like find like people that are in charge, you know, or who's running an event, or you know, and just see what's up, see what's going on, and see if I can do business with them and stuff like that. And it's definitely helped me in that way. But as far as my education is concerned, like I really don't feel like I pulled too much from the school, but I also didn't finish. So, which is why I was considering going back to Full Sail to go for my master's program, but I ended up deciding to go to Berkeley instead.
Cool.
Right.
So you mentioned before we got on the air that you have a clothesline. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm starting a clothing line called Outlier Apparel. Basically, you know, a lot of people in the subalternative cultures, you know, and alternative cultures, like the whole like aesthetic is basically like fuck you, you know, like it kind of like fuck the man, fuck the system, all that shit, you know. So I ran across this person one day, this old like punk rock lady. She was like, you know, twice my age, but she's like straight out of the freaking, you know, like 70s, 80s, you know. And she was like punk as fuck. She had like a freaking Tri-Hawk, but she was old, you know. And I was trying to go to the bathroom in this bar, and she stopped me, and she was like, I love Outliers, and I'm like, excuse me? And she's like, you're an outlier, and I'm like, okay. And and then I was like, you know what? I researched the word, and then I was like, oh, I see. You know, it's like literally being against the system, you know. So I was like, that's a fucking great name. Originally, me and my graphic designer decided to name the clothing line Temple of Shadows. And then after that, we decided to name it Outlier. So Outlier Apparel is like we have a couple of designs out, and we're also like working with Luciferian Apotheca online, and we're planning on doing some releases soon.
Cool. So there's nothing out there now. It's something you're working on.
Yes.
Cool.
We have not released. We've only released 2 designs, and they're only up for pre-order. And currently, right now, I'm working with a whole lot of models that are going to like wear like our merch and stuff, and we're gonna do photo shoots and stuff like that. And then like once we get all that material back, then we're going to launch.
Cool. I just gotta stop right here for a second. What's going on? What was he saying
Make
to
sure
me?
we can hear all of this. Can you hear this okay? Let's make sure this is good.
I feel like the black sheep while you whiteys are over here huddled together.
No, he was very. I like it.
Not wearing all, like, I'm literally the only person here that's not wearing like all black. I feel like the black sheep here. I'm the only one not wearing all black, and I feel so out of place.
Okay, well, I did not know.
I didn't
we were
know
all
that either.
white either, but it's okay.
I am not anywhere near as white as you.
So, what was some of the bands previous that you were in? Was it anything that we would know, or
what color's different?
No,
no? Just
Really?
yeah. I mean, you can find some of the stuff on YouTube and stuff like that, but like nothing major.
Like mine.
cool. Oh, so you're looking forward to working with these guys and hitting the road with them?
Yeah, I'm looking forward on going on tour and everything like that with these guys. It's definitely not the first time I've toured, whether it be as a musician or as a stagehand or technician or guitar tech or anything like that. I've definitely done it before, but like
That's
I'm looking forward to going on tour with these guys. It'll be fun.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be out of control, I'm sure. So I'm going to go right quick and play another song. We're going to play some Seven Dust real quick.
I'm sorry, are you trying to say something?
Here is Unforgiven by Seven.